Welcome back, y'all. This video is a bit more abstract in nature, and while the three maps that I will be displaying to you today don't have a full cohesive narrative, it is possible to piece together some of the lore and the imagery and the symbolism used throughout the map. Let's dive right into it, shall we? Now, where to even begin in such a quandary of a trilogy? There is no clear beginnings to these three maps, but in my experience, I believe that Insomnia starts out our journey. Insomnia starts you out at a train station in an empty, blank nowhere. Immediately, you can assume that you're in some form of dreamscape. Now, why a train station, one might ask? Well, trains can oftentimes be symbols of the human perception of time. But what exactly does that mean? Well, humans perceive time linearly. We don't have control over time no matter what we do. It is an onward-paced train. The tracks represent the past and the future, and where the train is currently is the present. Now, the reason why I believe that these three maps are connected are not only just because they're made by the same people, but also because of certain elements that are found throughout each map. Let's start off with the NPC. There's an NPC that can be found on multiple occasions, rambling about behind some form of padded cell or a gated cell, rambling on about something. Here's those clips now.
Always departing, but they never arrive. And the ones that do arrive, they never leave. You never see them go. They're always full. No one ever gets on, but they're always departing, but they never arrive. They're always departing, but they never arrive. Full. No one ever gets on, but they're always departing, but they never arrive.
They are always departing, but they never arrive. And the ones that do arrive, they never leave. You never see them go. They're always full. This is a rather confusing set of dialogue. Now, before we go any further, I do understand that this soundbite is indeed from Half-Life 2. But who's to say that it cannot take a different meaning when put into a completely different context? Who is always departing, but never arrive, and the ones that do arrive never leave? Well, if we take our example from earlier, the train, if the train represents time, what does it mean to arrive, and what does it mean to depart? They're always departing, but they never arrive. Perhaps they're departing from their current point of time, but never arriving to infinity, perhaps? If the train represents time, and if time is infinite, if you never arrive, are they saying that people are dying before they arrive at their destination? But then, the next part of the sentence says, and the ones that do arrive never leave. Now, continuing with my example, if failing to arrive somewhere represents death, then arriving somewhere but not being able to leave may represent eternal life. And what is one thing that has been used throughout history to represent life or eternal life? That would be the tree. Loveliest of trees, the cherry now, is hung with bloom along the bough, and stands about the woodland ride, wearing white of Eastertide. Now of my 80 years and 10, 20 will not come again. And take from 70 springs a score, it only leaves me 50 more. With visualization and imagery so fearful and potent, one might think that these maps are describing a sense of hopelessness. Heck, even the titles of these maps are downright dreadful. Paranoia, a state of constant fear. Insomnia, an insufferable disease which forces someone not to fall asleep. And hypnophobia is the description of a very specific fear. All of these would lead one to believe that overwhelming sense of fear would be the only constant throughout these maps. But I tell you here and now that is not the case, although those things are clearly seen throughout the maps, with its chaotic nature and light shows and machinery to keep you always on edge. You're always being attacked by NPCs, headcrabs, and combine. Other constants remain consistent throughout the maps, like the tree. The tree is a symbol of hope, a symbol of steadfastness, and trees are seen throughout these maps, very frequently. In Insomnia, the last place you go is a cityscape where a ginormous tree is seen in the background, kind of like the Erd tree. Trees are also seen throughout Paranoia and Hypnophobia. In the ground, growing somewhere where a tree probably shouldn't be able to grow, and yet it remains. Now, there are still a lot of things within these maps that don't really have an explanation that I can really think of. There's a character seen throughout sweeping the floor in very specific areas, and the thing that confuses me the most are the names of the maps. If we are to believe that this whole place is a dreamscape, then why is it that 2 out of the 3 of the maps refer to something that avoids sleep? Insomnia is the description of a disease that stops someone from sleeping, and hypnophobia is the description of the pathological fear of falling asleep. There's a chair that you start out in Paranoia that you can also see within hypnophobia. And in hypnophobia, there is a burned, singed corpse that is being tested on. It may be the case that instead of the whole world of this trilogy is not entirely a dreamscape, but instead some form of laboratory, some form of dream-sucking nightmarish place that when you end the game, once escaping the Combine and entering the glowing electrical blue circle in the middle of the void, it says that you have escaped. So if this is to be the case, then perhaps the scary things found throughout this world are not the stuff of nightmares. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please let me know that in the comments and I'll be sure to make more in the future. Have a good one.